Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another Reader's Magnet featured author interview. My name is Mark, and I am your host for today. With me is one of the Reader's Magnet featured authors that is here with us to share his journey as an author and to tell us more about his book titled The Love I Thought I Knew. We have author Donald Marcus Welch.
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, Donald. I just want to thank you for attending this is your second session with us already. And really glad to have you here again, and really glad as well that you chose our platform, Readers Magnet, to share your story with the world. Now, I'm really excited to know more about this book, The Love I Thought I Knew, Donald. But before we do that, kindly introduce yourself first.
Okay, my name is Donald Welch. I'm a retired military veteran, 32 years service. I currently work in UNC Rex Healthcare in Raleigh, North Carolina. Um, my spare time, I love to write. I do a little, poetry that I'm working on as well, but I also do greeting cards and some of the other things that I can actually get my hands into. But, my heart right now is definitely into writing. So, I'm taking it further than what I thought I was going to take it.
That's great to know, Donald, because that what makes your book unique and genuine when you put love and passion to what you're doing. And
Mhm.
yeah, to proceed with this, Donald, can you please show us the book cover of your book, The Love I Thought I Knew, and tell us what the book is all about.
Okay. In the love I thought I knew, you have a couple of individuals. They meet each other, they fall in love, and you know that's when two worlds come together, and they know that they're meant for each other. And as time goes
Mm-hmm,
on, with some of the life challenges, one person is starting to experience some deception and being
mm-hmm,
very observative. And once that individual starts feeling that way, then now you got some of the challenging questions that you're hoping they're not true, but as time goes on, it becomes true. So once the deception and deceiving comes in, you start questioning yourself: was this the person that I was destined to be with? That's where the
mm-hmm,
concept comes from, the love I thought I knew, because this
mm-hmm,
was starting off as this is the love of my life. It went from the love of my life to the love I thought I knew because of the
mm-hmm.
deception, questions, and stuff like that.
So does this book a fiction book or a self experience type of book, Donald? Your story, is it your story?
It's more or less of a little bit of everything. Some of
Oh.
my experiences, some of the experiences of colleagues that I've came across in the past, and I think it's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things, a everyday thing that you really don't hear about. But I'm pretty sure that once people look, especially when you look at the title, they can look at it and kind of think like, hey, I've been through that as well. So it's almost like an everyday life. Some of the things that people
Mm-hmm.
go to that people don't really talk about.
And what do you think you're hoping that your readers will take away for this book after they read the book?
Hopefully it could be a self-help tool for them, kind of look at the experience of the characters that I have in there and see if it was something that
Mm-hmm.
they could say, I wish I could have done this, or it kind of
Mm-hmm.
enlighten them, probably pretty much uplifted them, which like some
Mm-hmm.
people think that they with the one that they supposed to be with, and then when they lose that individual, it's kind of like sometimes you have people that want to give up, and then they could read the story and say, I guess I do have more to offer than just the fact that I've went through this.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Donald. Okay, so for our audience that are watching us right now, Donald
Mhm.
here actually doesn't just have one book. So please, Donald, tell us how many books do you have right now?
I have a
I mean,
total of
have
seven
written.
books. Yeah, I have a
Mm-hmm,
total of 7 books. My first three are actual books. The first and second one, the second one is a spinoff from the first one.
mm-hmm,
That one's titled, Drinking from a Tainted Fountain. And the second was Alliances versus Collusions, which is a spinoff from Drinking from a Tainted Fountain. My
mm-hmm,
third one is a children's book called Schooling Challenges of a Military Dependent. And then my
mm-hmm,
fourth, which was a play. So my last four are plays. So the first play was Mind Happiness.
mm-hmm,
The book second play was the My Lost Identity, and then the one that came after that was The Love I Thought I Knew, and the last
Mm-hmm.
one that I released was December of last year was A Dad's Unexpected Battle.
Wow, that's a lot of book, Donald. That's really interesting. You actually have a very wide variety of book option here, Donald. And are you planning to write another set of book or maybe another book soon?
I am. I'm currently working on a play right now. Actually, I got two plays that I'm working on, and I
Mm-hmm.
will. I'm not saying that I never will write a book. I kind of like fell in love with the concept of writing plays because when you're writing a play, it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like you actually can conversate and have a dialogue with an individual. So
Yeah.
right now I'm doing that. But there are other projects that I'm going to be looking at as well. I mean, projects is going to get deeper into everyday challenges. Like for example, one of the biggest challenges people face in the world, especially when it comes to um, life itself, is natural causes. The illnesses of people. Whereas, like for example, like cancer, one of the biggest challenges in the world today, and I'm looking at possibly doing something like that, even if I'm going around with this book, kind of like doing interviews with people that's either dealing with that disease, or talking to family members that have family members that that they're supporting in this whole 9 yards. And that was kind of like, kind of inspiring me because I lost my mom to pancreatic cancer. So, it was her journey that she was sharing with us. So I think it's only right that I go ahead and continue that journey and, possibly help other families through some of the ordeals that they've went through. I mean, me myself, thank God I don't have it, but I can actually learn from those, and then I can also share the experiences that my mom went through.
Wow, this is really impressive, Donald, because uh, writing a book, even one book, is really not easy because it involves a lot of thinking, creative thinking, planning, and things like that. And you here doesn't just have one book, but seven, and still is planning to create more, and that is really amazing, Donald. Now, I'm really wondering, what inspired you? Who is your inspiration that you look up to and why?
I would say there were two women that definitely made one of the the biggest impact was my mom and my grandmother.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
My grandmother, she passed away brain aneurysm. I think I was what 12 years old, so I was kind of
Mhm.
like, it was definitely one of the biggest challenges for me because at 12, I haven't even stepped into the realm of living yet. So it was like one of my
Mhm.
biggest, I would say one of my biggest cheerleaders, one of my biggest supporters was gone, and it was like, how do I kind of channel through that? So even with my mother having some of my grandmother traits, it kind of she kind of made that path that much, I could say, easier for me, even though I was still dealing with those challenges of her being gone. So, my mother was one of them, she hits the ground, she grabbed the bull by the horn, hit the ground running. And I think I kind of got that trait from her. So I'm
Mhm.
one of those individuals that I love to hit the ground running. And if I can make some type of impact that's going to help the next person, I'm all for it, you know. And
Wow.
I'm in a position now where after retiring out the military, now it's all about mentoring and helping people.
Wow, and I commend you for that, Donald, for, continuing what your mother is love what your mother loves to do, and that's really commendable. And I can really see the passion here. It makes your book unique and genuine. So that's really amazing, Donald. Now, um I'm uh thinking, have you always been dreamt to like be a writer, or like what event in your life made you want to start writing?
I never dreamed to be a writer, but I was, like I said, speaking with my colleagues before, it was, we started sharing some of our experiences with each other back and forth. And, and I've had colleagues say, hey, you need to tell your story. And I figured the best way to tell a story is in a book. So even when I went with the first book, my intention was, write this first book, share my story. That was it. And once I got the writing, I mean, the first book, it took me almost 2 years to do because I'm putting, I guess events together. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, after I get all these events together, it was just a matter of when I published this, it was like, okay, I really wasn't finished of what I published because there's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a part two to it. So I said, why not go with the part two? And once I started the part two, it kind of led up to, okay, even though I'm having these challenges being in the military, I have other
Mm-hmm.
folks that had challenges as well, including my youngest son. So with the
Mm-hmm.
challenges that he was dealing with, that's what, kind of inspired the children's book. So I figure after three, and I got into a routine of it, it was like, hey, why not go ahead and continue to do this? So I
Mm-hmm.
think, initially sharing my story was what inspired to continue to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's great to hear, Donald. Now, for I unfortunately we have to reach the last part of this author session interview. Um, my last question will be: can you share some insight to the message that you are getting across in the book, and the love I thought I knew?
Like I said, when it comes to, you know, whether it be love or anything that you devote your time and your heart into, if things doesn't go the way that you plan, that's not the plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the time that you stop and continue. You want to continue on what your plan is because, where there's a will, there's a way. Like I said,
Correct.
sometimes some people they be ready to give up, especially when they, the dream that they have don't come to ending that the way they planned it. So, but you always got to have kind of like a backup plan. So it's not, we're not here to
Exactly.
check out and give up. It's like if your plan doesn't work, to what you initially planned, there's always
Mm-hmm.
a backup plan. But at the end of the day, you want to try to find success for yourself. So that's the thing that I encourage with people, like in the love I thought I knew, love didn't work for this individual, and I'm pretty sure that this individual is going to move forward. Like I said, there are going to be some ups and downs that, some pains and, gripes that they're going to have to deal with, but it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. So, you're saying to for us to like have like a backup plan just in case the plan A didn't work, right? So, if the first plan doesn't work, that doesn't mean that everything ends there. That's exactly why you need to like provide or have a backup plan so that you can actually proceed with what you really want in life or in your like I mean your life and how you continue living. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Donald. So we have unfortunately reached the last part or the ending part of our session here. So for the last time, Donald, can you show the book cover and encourage us, our viewers, to buy a copy of your book?
Okay. Anybody that's going through some of the things, like I said, especially when it comes to love, I recommend that you pick up a copy of this because, like I said, some of the things that I put in there, like I said, I kind of share, some experiences that, I touch on, but also I'm also sharing experience of, colleagues and friends that I've, spoke with in the past and, even been there to even support and help them. So, I mean, you can get some type of insight. I know everybody's situation is different, but some of the messages that I put in this book may help you along the way. Some people that may want to give up, you may see something in there that may trigger you to say, hey, I can, you're more important than what you think you are, especially when you think you're ready to check out because something didn't work for you.
All right. So, yes, everyone, that's Donald Marcus Welch, the author of the book, The Love I Thought I Knew. And the book is available on Amazon and Barnes& and Noble. Again, I just want to thank you, Donald, for, joining us in this session with me. And, as what we say it here at Reader's Magnet, always, we share your story with the world. Goodbye, Donald. Thank you so much.
So